Today our discussion is going to be on okra farming. We are here with the CEO of Osborg Agric Enterprise, Mr. Boachi Yadom, aka Agricman. Mr. Boachi, you're welcome.
Thank you, Na.
And my name is Debbie Na. So, Mr. Boachi, a lot of people have requested we do okra production for them. If I want to go into okra farming as a beginner, what are the factors that I need to consider before going to okra farming?
Now, before we go to factors, okra is very good.
Yeah.
It's a good vegetable.
Okay.
A lot of people like it.
Okay.
It's good. You can use it for fufu, benku, okra stew. A lot of benefits. Medicinally, it's good. So okra production is good. And one thing about okra is that it's not like other vegetables course, which is 3 months, 4 months. Okra is just 2 months.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people are interested in okra production.
Okay.
Your question again.
So my question is, if I want to go into okra farming or okra farming and it's going to be for commercial purpose, what are some factors that I need to consider before I start production?
Okra is one of the short-term crops.
Okay.
It's not different than other short-term crops.
Okay.
So the factors are more or less the same. Before you go into okra production, it's like you are going into normal crop production. First, you need your land.
Okay.
After you get your land, the location is very important. So when you get your land, you think about okra need a lot of water.
Okay.
So when you are choosing a location or where you want to go into okra production, you also put that thing into consideration.
Okay.
And also transportation issue. When your farm is the road remoutable, because okra you have to harvest at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
Or twice a week. So if your road network is not good, it can also affect you.
Okay.
So it's also a factor that you have to consider. And also before you go into okra production, you have to search for markets. Which market?
Should you do the market research before you start, or when you start you can do the market research?
You can do your market research and get your customers, like restaurants and even the market women.
Okay.
Before you go into okra production. I'm talking about large scale production.
Okay.
Yes, apart from that, you can produce and sell it in any available market.
Okay.
Yeah, because okra, as I said, about 3 days you have to harvest. That's why it's better you know where you are harvesting the okra to, because it's a vegetable that you cannot keep it for long.
Yeah.
About 1, 2, 3 days, then it change form. The form will change.
Okay.
So that's also a good factor that you have to consider.
Okay.
And also you have to think about your pest control. Okra too susceptible to other diseases.
Okay.
So disease and pest control is also very important in okra production.
Okay.
So there are some few factors that you have to consider before going into okra production.
All right. Okay, so now you talked about the land. That was the first thing you talked about. What type of land is good for okra production?
Okra, sandy loamy is good.
Okay.
And when it's clay and it's loamy, it's also good. In Ghana, all the regions, even 3 northern regions, rainy season you can go into okra production.
Okay.
So I can say that in Ghana about 95% of our land is good for okra production.
Okay.
But if you want to go into maybe commercial purpose specifically, then the land location is very important. Okay. It's better you get a land which is close to a riverside, so that you can use irrigation system. Because in okra production, if you choose irrigation system, you get a lot of money.
Okay.
Because there are some times in Ghana that how to get okra is very difficult, like January, February, March.
The dry season.
The dry season is very difficult to get an okra.
Okay.
The cost is very high. So if you're able to get a land which is close to a riverside, you can do your okra in the rainy season, and also in the dry season you can use irrigation system, and it's going to help you a lot.
Oh, okay. If I want to go into commercial okra farming, you said the location matter. So in Ghana, among all the regions in Ghana, which regions are best for producing okra?
In Ghana, as I said, apart from 3 northern regions, that even you can produce okra in maybe a rainy season there, around June, July there. all the regions you can produce okra. Yeah.
All right. Okay. And then with the okra, do you need greenhouse or you can do it on a open field?
You can use greenhouse, but you have a variety that you can use.
Okay.
Although any variety you can use greenhouse, but open field is very good because okra, if you get good weather, you can produce at any place without even the greenhouse.
All right. All right. Now let's look at the seed selection. Do we have varieties of okra seed, and do we have hybrid, and do we have local?
Yeah, we have hybrid and local.
Okay.
And seed selection is very important in okra production.
Okay.
In even all the short-term crop production, other tomatoes, anything at all, the seed is very important. Even in greens, in maize production, seed is very important.
Okay.
Because all this other cost is subject to the seed that you are going to use. So in okra production too, it's the same thing. The seed is very important.
Okay.
And in Ghana, we have a lot of okra seed. We have one called Asuntem, we have Crensemin, and we have a hybrid one called Syngenta. Okay. For that one, it's good for greenhouse. It's just even 2-3 weeks you can start harvesting. Yeah, and that one is good for greenhouse. So we have a lot. We have even what is called lady's finger, and we have a labadi dwarf, and we have corn horn. Based on the nature of the okra, you can also give a name.
Okay. So those all the names you are mentioning, are they local seeds or they are hybrid seeds?
Some are hybrid, and even the local one is there as some term, and even in wood we have a lot. For local we have a lot of okra seed, and in every region we have the name that we call that local seed. Okay. That is why giving the name is very difficult, but the common ones that we know is what I've mentioned. Okay. We have even some okra variety that even you don't know and I don't know, but it's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we are okay with the seed. If you have any question concerning the seed, you can let me know that in the comment section so that the next video we can be able to address that. Now let's look at the planting. Yeah. How do we plant okra? Do we do it just like the way we do the cabbage, or we do it direct?
Okra planting is direct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not nursery and transplanting, it's direct. Okay. That is why it's not difficult.
Okay, so if it's direct, how do we do the planting?
The planting, if it's in a commercial base, if the land is good for plowing that we can plow, is good. And if the land you cannot plow, like in the forest areas or the land with a lot of trees too, the land preparation is very important, very clean and neat land. Okay. You can plant it direct by using a cutlass. Yes.
Okay. You use the cutlass to do the planting. What's the planting distance?
Yeah, the planting distance you can talk of maybe 30 to 40 centimeters.
Okay.
Or maybe 12 to 15 inches.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Now let's look at the fertilizer application.
Yeah.
How do we apply fertilizer? I know with the maize we said the first fertilizer application is 2 weeks after germination. Yeah. How does that one to apply to the okra?
Yeah, okra too, you can use the same principle. Okay. Okra, you can use all the NPKs, NPK 23-10-5, you can use 20-10-10, but the best NPK for okra will be 15-15. Okay. Why? And even not okra alone, all the vegetables, the best NPK or the best plant nutrient is 15-15-15, because when you see the composition, you see the nitrogen. Or if you pick 23-10-5, the nitrogen is 23. Okay. And the phosphorus is what? 10, and potassium is 10. But when you pick a 15-15, the nitrogen is 15, the phosphorus is 15, and the potassium is 15. Vegetables need a lot of potassium and phosphorus than nitrogen. Oh, okay. So in vegetable production, too much nitrogen is not good. If you use too much nitrogen, that also can cause flower abortion. Okay. Either in okra or pepper or eggplant, which is garden eggs. Too much nitrogen can cause flower abortion. Oh, okay. So it's better you use the NPK with the high potassium or high phosphorus. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's why we go for the 15-15. And you can also use this organic liquid fertilizers. Okay. It's good for vegetables like okra. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So how do we do the application? For the application, when you pick the inorganic one, which which is the MPK 1515, you apply it like a maize. That you do top dressing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a top dressing method.
Okay.
But as I said, the quantity per plant should be about 10 grams, not many. So you can use about 1.5 bags or 2 bags for okra, depending on the fertility of the land. Even if the land is good, you can use 1 bag for 1 acre.
Okay.
And even if the land is good, you can even use the organic liquid fertilizers and chemical, but still you can harvest.
Can I also use the organic fertilizer without any inorganic fertilizer?
You can use that one if you are sure with the land. If you get a rich land, a very virgin land, a loamy, sandy loamy, which is good, you can use even liquid fertilizer alone. You can even choose not to use
what
fertilizer.
of the green fat manure?
Yeah, you can also use the green fat.
Okay, without any other.
Yes, for top dressing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we are okay with the fertilizer. Now let's look at pest control.
Pest control is a challenge in okra farming.
Okay.
Okra it's like cabbage. Where you are going to spend time most is pest control.
Okay.
Have you seen this okra? It started nicely.
Yes.
Have you see?
Just like my cabbage.
Just like your cabbage. You start nicely, but if you are not careful, within short time, you will not see it well. Because okra, a lot of pests are attracted to okra.
Okay.
Particularly fungi. Yeah, so if you are not careful, within short time.
So when do you have to start with the pest control?
Very good. 2 weeks after germination, you can start pest control.
Okay.
Yeah, even for that one, you can use lambda or cemetride.
Okay.
Yeah, for that one you can even use 50 mils. You see, in crop production, when you start pest control early, one, it minimizes cost.
Okay.
When I say it minimizes cost, you can use 100 mils of insecticide for 1 knapsack spray, and you can spray even half acre.
Okay.
Yeah, if the crop is young, you can use 4 tanks or 3 tanks for 1 acre.
Okay.
And you will not use a lot of chemicals. Then the next 2 weeks you continue. It follows you. When it follows you, you will not even get 1 disease or 1 pest. But when you sit down for the damage to be caused, that is where you are going to struggle a lot, and that is where the cost will be very high for you.
Okay.
So if you start 2 weeks after germination, it's very good. Yeah.
So when I do my first spraying,
Yeah.
how often should I do the spraying? Should I do it every 2 days, every 3 days? How often should I do that?
That's why I said normally it must follow suit. Maybe if you start 1 week, the next week you have to.
Okay.
But even for that one, it depends on the place. There are some places that the pests and insects are very, very attractive to that place. Maybe there are not a lot of farm there. You are the only person producing okra or vegetables. A lot of pests will come to your farm. So it's very important that in vegetable production, it's not like a maize that you can leave it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks before you go there. For vegetables production, you have to scout the farm anytime, 2-3 days. You have to scout.
Okay.
So if there is any changes or any different, you can realize and take action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it depends on what.
Yes. And pests, as I was saying, you see the okra too. One major challenge is fungi. You see, this okra started well. It's a very nice okra when it starts, but because of lack of pest control, within short time, have you see?
Yeah.
Because this is a disease. You see, we have disease, bacteria and fungi. Have you see? It's not all pests. They are the physical one that you can see, but diseases you cannot see.
Okay.
You see, also a viral disease you cannot see. Yes. So this one too, have you see, the leaves has become brown and this and dry. Yeah, it can also be caused by this one. Can also be caused by maybe lack of nitrogen or a stress. Okay. Yes, can also cause this. That is why the stress. The stress. Chemical applications. It's not chemical application. Maybe the rainfall pattern can cause stress. Okay. The type of the land, if there are some disease, nematodes and other this in the land can also cause stress. Okay. And so the weather too can cause stress, because when the weather change few times, if you're not careful, everything will destroy. When you are into okra farming and you start experiencing this, yes, what action should you take about against this, or how do you control this disease? Our farmland is still available, limited quantity is still available. If you want to go into
farming, whether coconut farming, palm farming, maize, plantain, and whatever, just get in touch with me. My contact will be on the screen and the description section. Get in touch with me and I'll take you through the process. If you also need Mr. Boachi to for agri input, or you need any consultation concerning farming, you can also contact him. I'll be leaving his contact on the screen and the description section so that you can get in touch with him and he'll be able to assist you with all the information you need.
If you see that you are not well, maybe you have a headache, meaning that is malaria, you have to go to hospital or you have to go and see a pharmacy. So when you see this thing, first you have to go to your agrochemical shop and explain to them so that they can give you a chemical that can control it. Even you don't have to sit down up to this level. When you see a small change, you have to take action. Because for the bacterial disease, when it's a bacteria, it's very difficult. You will buy a lot of chemicals, but still, unless you cut it or you plow and plant different
one again. Okay, but how do you even prevent this from happening?
That is why I said that you have to scout the farm early, and also your spray must be continuous. Yes.
But you know, you said some is as a result of stress and those things. So by those ones you don't have no control by it.
For the stress, if it's the weather and it's not raining, you have to see that you have to water it. Regularly, so that
1 acre.
Yeah.
Not near to any stream. That would be very difficult.
That's why I said that if you want to go into okra farming,
you should get.
You see, we have some periods that is good for okra production. May, June, July going, you can go into okra production. And also August, October, you can go into okra production. And you have all the irrigation system. You can even start as late as November. So you harvest around January, February.
Now let's look at weed control. How do we make sure our farm is clean, or our okra farm is very clean? Do we have a selective for okra too?
We have selective for okra, but it starts with the land preparation. You have to get a clean land. If it's a plowed land, you have to plow it well. And if it's not a plowed land, you have to weed and gather the debris and burn it before you plant. You will not plant okra when the weeds are about maybe 2 inches. No. You have to plant okra when there is no even weed at all on the field. Yes. And also you can use we have a selective for okra. Or a lot of selective for vegetables. The okra too, they have a selective for okra. And apart from selective, if the land is not big, the best weed control is by weeding using a hoe. But for that one, if you are going to commercial production, it will be very difficult. And also if you are going to commercial production and it's a plowed land, you can use spray emergence herbicides. After you plow the land, then you spray. So when you plant the okra, the weeds will not come. If you come it will come late. That is how the weed control.
So when you use the pre-emergence herbicide, how long will it take before you start seeing weeds sprouting out?
If you apply it well, it can even take you about a month, getting to 2 months. I mean, for that one, if the weeds will come, you see, it will not gather. You see 1 year, some few weeks here, you see it will scattered.
That means most of the seeds have been
destroyed by the chemical.
Alright, so what's the plant population for 1 acre?
You can talk of the number of seed that you can use for 1 acre. In okra production, if you get 300 grams, you can plant one acre. You see, in okra, it is packaged in grams. We have 100 grams, we have 500 grams, but 300 grams can go for 1 acre. So 300 grams, approximately how many seeds? In fact, for the okra, I've not counted the number of seeds in the only Syngenta. That hybrid that I'm saying is 50 grams, about 100 seed, some 50 seed they count. But Suntem and Crensim and other varieties, it comes in 100 grams, 500 grams. Yes. See, when you talk of 1 acre, at times there are some places that the acre is very big. Some places 75 centimeters square, some 80 by 75, even some 100 by 100. But at least if you get 300 grams.
300
It will
grams
be, it will go okay for 1 acre.
Okay, so you said okra, how many months approximately does it take for
Okra
you
2
to start
months.
harvesting?
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
Exactly 2 months.
Oh, 2 months. 2 months. You start harvesting your okra, and then that's the money zone.
Okay, so when you start harvesting, how long will it take for you to stop harvesting, or before it stop fruiting?
For okra, if you get a good variety and the conditions are, you can even harvest okra for more than 3 months.
Continuously?
Yeah,
for 3 months?
continuously. Every 3 days you harvest.
Okay.
Every 3 days you harvest. And the best method of harvesting okra is by using knife.
Okay.
Yes, when you use the knife, then
You cannot just pluck it like that.
you can pluck it, but if you pluck it, it will affect the plant.
Okay.
So the last plant can reduce, but if you're able to use
Knife.
the knife, is good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think we have covered almost everything that we need to know about okra farming. If you still have any question concerning okra farming, you can let us know that in the comment section so that we can address that for you alone. Okay, so now I think the last thing I want to know is about the expected yield for 1 acre.
Okra is not like other crops like maize that we measure in bags.
Okay.
You see, every 3 days you harvest, and even some market women come with a basket that they used to measure before they buy. Others too count maybe 3 fruits or 4 fruits for 1 cedi.
Okay. 4
fruits for 2 cedis. So okra, the unit of measurement in okra production is very difficult, but on average 2.5 to 3 tons per acre. Yeah.
All right, so I think that is it. So in the next video, we are going to look at the cost involved starting okra farming and the profit one start to make starting okra farming here in Ghana. So make sure you don't miss that video if you really want to go into okra farming here in Ghana. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.